Hey guys, welcome to All Up in Your Lunch, All Up in Your Birth and Baby Business with Kate Schnetzer. Today we are going to talk about the five best tools, or the five best tools. We're actually doing three best tools. That's a different one. Three best tools that I use to plan my social media. I had some questions the last time that I posted about social media. I had some questions about like, what do you do? How do you do it? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what I focus on when I'm planning my social media and how exactly I do it. I focus on about a month's period at a time. And the reason that I plan it out is because I get busy, right? And if I just rely upon going on and posting every day, then I'm not going to do it. I'm going to forget about it. And all of a sudden it's going to be 3 months have gone by and I haven't done any social media. So that's why it's really important to plan it out and really look at it through a wide angle lens each month before you begin the month. So I'm going to show you the best tools that I use and kind of how I do it. It's pretty simple, but it might kind of get you started in starting to plan your social media. And folks, as you come in, so most people, and we're gonna talk about videos probably next month and doing live streaming, but most people don't come to your live stream, right? Most people watch it in the replay. So if you do have questions, if you're not live, please feel free to ask them. I will come back. I will circle back and answer them later. And if you're coming on live, say hi and let us know who you are, what you do, and do you have any social media accounts? If so, how are they doing? Are you posting every day? What does it look like for you? And that'll kind of give me a good idea of where you guys are at with your social media. So now I focus mostly on Facebook. That's mostly where my target demographic is. I do have an Instagram account and a Twitter account for both my businesses, but I don't really do much with it. I usually leave them up for SEO purposes. But this all will kind of apply to anything. So if your focus is on Instagram or Twitter, this will all apply the same way. I'll just be mentioning Facebook simply because that's what I focus on. But I see a couple people in, so let us know what you're up to. And let's go ahead and jump in. So I'm going to make sure that you guys can see this okay. And here we go. So the first thing that I use to plan my social media is an old school calendar. So I actually use two calendars. I use this whiteboard. Get a little bit of that shot. Yeah, there we go. So I use a whiteboard. Actually, at my home office, I have 4 of these. So I don't plan my social media out for 4 months, but I do have like, okay, it's World Doula Week or it's World Breastfeeding Week. I'll have that marked on there. I'll have any big events that I might need to be promoting for, so I can look at it in a big wide angle lens. But I'm going to just kind of show you an example of my June calendar and how I do it. So what I do is I start with a blank slate, right? And I usually decide, and this is going to be another topic we'll get really into, but I decide on a theme for the month. And so like this month, my theme for Birth Your Baby Business is social media planning, right? So that's why you're here. And so why I plan a theme is that it's a lot easier to create content each month if you have a theme, if you have kind of a focus. Now I'll do some off-topic posts and things, promotions for my services or promotions for classes, or probably going to do a live stream of Meet the Doula events were happening. That doesn't really fall into that theme, but generally I'm going to focus June on planning out social media. And so that way, anytime that I'm making content, creating content, it's focused. I'm kind of in that groove. I'm in that zone of creation, and it's just a lot easier. I'm also going to do a future live stream about, and I actually might make it into a class, depending on how long I think it's going to be, about how to take one piece of content and use it to actually create 7 different pieces of content. So basically it's using one thing and making multiple things from it, so you don't have to actually create as much. But that's kind of what I lay out here. And so you can use anything. You can use like a whiteboard. You can use, I actually, at my home office, I have a whole wall that is a whiteboard. I'll probably be live streaming from there at some point. And what I do is you can use a pen, but I like to use like little Post-it notes, right? So I can move them around. And sometimes I'll color code them. So if I'm doing, so I have two businesses. I have Parenting Resources and I have Birth Your Baby business. So I might do like two separate colors, just so I can differentiate. Some people do different colors depending on what type of content it is, but for me, I don't really need to do that at this point. I don't really color code them that much. And what I do is I set them out. So most people say you need, 5 to 7 posts a week, depending on what kind of content it is. So I try to do that as much as possible, but I'll kind of play with it on what days I want, what time I want, what I have to promote, what I come up with. And then I'll plan it out. So one day I have a quote graphic. So you might have seen a quote graphic I posted yesterday about planning social media, I think it was. Today is my live stream, 3 tools to plan social media. Then tomorrow, and this will be again a class, I'll show you how to do this. But tomorrow will be a blog post where I repurpose this live stream for my blog post. Friday, I'll send that email out. So you might see that email in your email box that gives the basics of what I'm talking about, goes back to the blog and puts a link to the video that people can watch. And then I'm going to do an engagement question. So what's your favorite tool that you use for social media planning? Because I want to get people talking, right? On my social media, engagement is good for the algorithm. Then I'll probably do a quote graphic on Saturday, right? And then the next week, I'll start again. But what was nice about this plan is that as things change and evolve throughout the week or throughout the month, I can just switch them around and I see it in the big picture. So, if say I get a lot of engagement on what's your favorite tool on this engagement question, I might do something else. I might do like a little mini video here and try to get people talking on that day. And then I might move this over here. And it's really easy to kind of see what I'm doing. What's nice about this too is, like, I have a big Meet the Doula. We have a big Meet the Doula night next week on Wednesday. So we're hosting a Meet the Doula night. We're inviting like doctors and things. And some docs are going to do some presentations about incorporating doulas into your practice. I am going to attempt to live stream it, so you should see an invitation for that. We'll see how that goes. It's kind of hard to live stream that kind of stuff, but we're going to try. So, I would know ahead of time that this is coming up, and I would plan accordingly around that, because I'm going to need to, promote it, send things out for it. So I want to see that ahead. And that's why even having 4 of these, 2 of them, 3 of them is really nice to kind of look ahead and see what you want to plan. So that's the first thing that I do when I'm planning it out. And I, try to allocate an hour or 2 to just sit with the board and decide where I want things to go and how I think things will look the best. And I do all sorts of different posts depending on what's getting me the best engagement for that topic. So I do videos, I do animated GIFs, which you might have seen me do an animated GIF of me planning my social media and banging my head against a desk, but then hugging it. Anyway, so I do something like that for fun. I do blogs. I might share an article. I don't share too much of other people's stuff, but I will occasionally share an article. I'll do an engagement question. I'll try to get people talking. I might post a lead magnet. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. But I'll post something for somebody to download. So if you downloaded any of my stuff or took my quizzes or watched a free webinar, that was a lead magnet. So I might post about something like that. I'll do a promotion about an upcoming event or a live stream or something that's happening, or I'll do a promotion about a product, a service, a class, or I'll do a live stream, or I'll do a pre-recorded video, and I'll do a quote. Sometimes I'll do an animated quote. Sometimes I'll just do a regular quote, just kind of depending on what's there. Oh, hey, Natalie. Sorry, I'm missing. Let us, hey, guys, if you're just coming on, Let us know who you are, do you have social media? What do you have? What do you focus on? Where are you at with your social media? So if you've not even touched it, that's okay. My kind of focus with business is marketing. Like, that's my sweet spot. I really love marketing. I love that piece of it. So we talk a lot about that in this, on my page and in this group. So we'll help you with that. But yeah, so that's what I start with. And, you can do this whatever way you want. And then I have a paper planner. Now, some people will have a, online planner or whatever. I like to have a paper planner, and I haven't finished it for this month because I'm still playing around still a little bit with a couple things. But then I start putting them in my planner so I know what's going on when I'm mobile. A lot of you probably work on the road, in your car, in cafes. So unless you want to carry this around with you, it's good to have a paper version, or if you use a Google Calendar, then putting them in there so you know what's coming ahead. And that's for the initial planning piece. So the next piece that I use is a program. It's a program online called Hootsuite. Now, there's a lot of different social media planning and scheduling options that you have. I like Hootsuite. It just clicks with me. I've used other things, Edgar and things. Everybody kind of has a different program that's going to fit with their level of abilities, how user-friendly they want it, how they want it to appear. Because I have multiple social media accounts, multiple businesses, for me, Hootsuite worked really well, and the pricing was fine for what I needed it for. And really, most of you should be able to keep Hootsuite with a free account. You shouldn't even have to pay unless you've got a lot of stuff going on. And I'm going to show you the back end of Hootsuite and how to use it. And let's see who's coming on. Oh, hey, Bonnie. Natalie, you haven't touched it yet. Getting my website built that I plan on launching it on my Facebook page at the same time. Great. Yeah, the Facebook, I really like Facebook, especially when you're pitching to moms, when you're trying to sell to moms. And we know even if you're focused on parents and families, the reason businesses focus on moms is because moms typically make the buying decisions in any household. So most of the time, that's what you'll see most commercials are selling to women. And Facebook is just really where people are at. And what's really cool about Facebook too is the ad capabilities of Facebook. You can have $1 a day for an ad spend budget, which is nothing. And you actually have a marketing budget, which I think is really cool, and you can really be specific about it. So that's what I really like about Facebook, and why I really spend most of my ad dollars on Facebook and most of my time on Facebook when I'm doing posts and social media. Now, it might be different for you. Your market, your target demographic might mostly be on Instagram or might mostly be on Pinterest. And we're talking about similar concepts here. You still need to plan this stuff out, and you still need to have a content strategy. Alex, hey everyone, co-founder of Detroit Mama Hub. I love what you are doing over there, Alex. Super cool. We've got Insta and Facebook and are pretty much doing it on a weekly basis, and it's stressful. You always feel behind. Yes. So social media can be stressful. So that's why having a strategy and putting it all in ahead of time is really important. Every week, except I think next week. See, this is why this calendar is really good. Yeah, except for next week. So, because again, next week's our Meet the Doula event, so I'm going to try to live stream it. If I can't get it together to live stream that event, I'll probably just do a live stream about social media again. I am going to talk next week about how to promote yourself when you're going to something like a Meet the Doula event. I'm going to talk a little bit about that on a live stream. That's a little more off topic for the month. But like the week after, right now, the plan is I'm going to talk about 3 ways to show yourself off on social media, like how to make yourself shine. The next week, I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't do like-a-thons. Stop doing like-a-thons. Yes, the next week I'm going to show you how to make quick blog posts. And then what I'm planning on is a free webinar about, because I was going to do it in a live stream, but I think it's going to need to be a webinar, a free webinar about how to take one piece of content and stretch it into 7. So that way you don't have to spend as much time creating 30 new pieces of content each day. You'll technically have to create it, but it's kind of like piggybacking off the other main piece of content. So it's kind of hard to explain that really quickly. So I think I'm going to make it into a mini class for you guys. So if you're interested in that, hit the like button, even if you're coming on later, so I can check that out. Let me know if that seems like it would be a good class for you guys to take. I love webinars, so anytime I can do a webinar, you'll see me do one. And so I think I might do that at the end of the month for you guys and show you live and in person how I do that, because that will really save you a lot of time. There's no reason you need to create 30 days of totally new content. All right, so let's jump into Hootsuite. So are any of you guys using a scheduler? Oh, Bonnie, you have a website and Facebook page, but coming up with original content each week is tough. Exactly. And the other tip that I have, which I'll share a couple times, you don't have to come up with 365 days of content. Don't be afraid to reuse your content, and that you can recycle and rehash content all the time. If you have 1,000 followers, chances are only a small percentage of them are going to see every post, so feel free to just use them again. It's not a big deal. You just recycle them. You only really need a couple of months worth of like original content, and then you can recycle stuff. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so let's hop into Hootsuite. I'm just going to show you the back end of it so you guys can kind of see. Now, I tried to make a simplified version over on this version so you could kind of see how this works. So this is my Birth Your Baby stream. So I can see like my posts. Let me make sure it's showing it. Nope, it's not. There we go. Here's where we're in Hootsuite now. So you can see on my Birth Your Baby business side, you can see my posts that are active now, right? Or that are on my feed. So here's my live stream. I've got my last quote, and I can go down like that. Now I've got things that I have scheduled. So I haven't scheduled them yet because I was going to show you guys how I schedule them. So I have this. So like this is supposed to go out tomorrow. Done is always better than perfect. No matter how stressful it is and how imperfect you think that your social media content is, get it out there. Done is better than perfect. It's never going to be perfect. If you sit around and analyze it and overanalyze it, whatever. If it stinks, the algorithm's not going to serve it up to people anyway, so you don't really need to worry about it. Unless you're being like legit offensive. If it's not the greatest piece of content, that's okay. Only 10% of your content people are going to love anyway. So you might as well just get it out there, keep trying, see what people like. And then activity. So you see everybody saying hi. Now, what I do when I schedule them is I go over into my publisher. And what's cool about this publisher, now you can connect any social media account to Hootsuite. So like I have all sorts of like groups. I can put my groups in here, Instagram, YouTube. They're integrating Pinterest now. Before we had to go through a separate app. But you can really do them all in here. And what's cool is I can look at a list version. I can look at today. I can look at the week. But I really like to go look at the month. And then the posts are color coded. What's cool about this is I can set whatever I want up on the calendar. I can look and see, okay, so let's see. So on Tuesday, I'm supposed to do a quote graphic. So let's go pull one of my quote graphics that I made. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to pull one. I don't know if it's the right one, but so I can pull that in there. That's going to load. I can say test, test. I can add my own link if I want. Or if I want it to shorten it for me, like a little, like a short link for Twitter, it'll do that for me. So what's cool about this is I can post on multiple different accounts. So if you have multiple accounts, you can post across multiple accounts. Okay. So that's what's really cool, is that if you do have multiple things happening, you can do that. Now, a lot of social media folks will say you need to, like, if I'm doing this quote and I have Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I'd want to do them at separate times. If you're short on time and you're just trying to load it out, just get it up there. You know, you can figure that out later. You can move these posts around. So say I am scheduling it then. Scheduling. I'm going to schedule them for tomorrow at noon. And I'm scheduling them. Now I can say what I want to see, all my accounts, what I have scheduled. Like I said, I haven't scheduled anything. I cleared it all out so we can look at this. So now I see that this is here. I can move it around if I want. Oh, needs to be in the future. I can move them around, see kind of what I have going. Of course, it doesn't want to show us all of it this time. Sometimes you need to refresh. So, and like, I'm on the free account right now. I was on an upgraded plan, but I'm not, and I use it for a lot of stuff. So, but anyway, so this goes multiple. So if I have, so say I have at 1 o'clock, then I have another one. Where was I putting it? So anyway, so then I can see kind of across the board where all of my posts are. So you can schedule it and plan it across here. And then as you look at it here, you can say, you know what? This quote graphic doesn't flow. I was going to post a picture of myself, you know, on my way to a birth, but I'd rather put it in the middle of the week. You can just kind of play around with it and see where it goes, which is a really cool thing about it. So there's no point in like spending a lot of time on it. Just go in, schedule something really fast, get it out there. If you can't come up with something, put a picture of yourself walking into a hospital, in front of the hospital. Headed out to Mercy today. They have really cool birthing suites. I don't know. You know, I'm just making stuff up. But you can put something really cool on really, really fast. So that's the second way that I do it. So I start here, then I go here and I schedule everything. I've talked about chunking content before. So like if I have 10 quote graphics that I'm supposed to make for the month, I will go into Canva or Photoshop and I'll make all of those for the entire month. I do them all together. I time myself. I say I've got an hour to get these 10 quote graphics done. And then when I'm done, I'm done. I download them all and I load them into Hootsuite. Doing things together in one piece is going to save you a lot of time. If I say, well, I'm going to schedule this week. I'm going to schedule Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to make a quote graphic. Then I'm going to write a blog. Then I'm going to do a promotion graphic about my services. Then I'm going to do a picture of myself doing something. That takes up more time than if you just did all of your quote graphics at once. You did all your personal pictures at once. You did all your promo posts at once, because you're in a groove, you're in the zone, and you're using all the same resources and materials. So just another tip is when you're scheduling these in, do all things that are the same category all at one time. See if I have any questions here. Alex, done is better than perfect. Oh my God, I need to hear that. Yes. I also swear that the posts that I feel like are the worst posts that I make get the best engagement. Like if I put the posts that I put like a lot of effort into, 80% of the time getting like nothing. It's like crickets. And I'm like, why? And then I'll put like a dumb picture of like a selfie of me at my business and like it'll get great engagement. Or I'll just post a picture of just something random. Those Lime bikes, we got them in the neighborhood. I got great engagement on that. Just posted a picture of a Lime bike in front of my business. I mean, you never know I just did it because I just needed to post something. So don't be afraid to just kind of put it out there. Just put something out there. It doesn't really matter. You can improve your content down the road as you go. You've got a lot going on, especially when you're starting a business and you're starting a social media campaign. Just get it out there. Alex says Hootsuite's come a long way. Yeah, definitely check it out. So sometimes it can be overkill for some people. So if it is, you know, there are simpler programs. I just want, you know, I don't even use half the stuff, but you can look at analytics. Um, you can assign, so if you are in a cooperative or an agency or whatever, you can assign stuff and tasks. You can have multiple users, but really I just stay in publisher and streams and just check out what's going on. You can add other things in here, so like messages. So if I want to see like my messages when they come through, or if anybody has mentions or likes or retweets or whatever, you can add those in these categories, so you can see lots of different stuff. I don't really, I just pay attention to these for the most part, because I see a lot of the mentions when I actually go on my page. But you can just kind of customize it how it works for you. But yeah, so that's how I do my scheduling on Hootsuite. The other way that I do scheduling sometimes, there's always argument among algorithm experts as to whether if you use a scheduling platform versus, like, for example, Facebook's own internal publishing tools, which is more algorithm friendly. So I'm going to show you Facebook publishing tools. Let's go in. Okay. So now, just as a caveat, everyone's publishing tools will look a little bit different based on how many followers you have. So Facebook is funny. They like to have different things happening for different people based on followers. They roll different things out to various users. So like sometimes if I show you something and you go on the back end of yours and you're like, I don't have that option, maybe you don't have enough followers yet, or maybe they just haven't rolled it out to you yet, or they've changed something. Facebook's funny about that. So publishing tools. So if you're on your Facebook page, and this is a really easy and obviously free way to do this. If you go over to publishing tools, you can schedule your posts. So here's all my published posts. I can check out what my engagement was, that sort of thing. And that's really helpful too. I like to kind of see like, well, this didn't, this only got to 453 people. Oh, look, this got to 4,000 people. What was good about this post that wasn't good about this post? Why did this camp one get to, 3.4 thousand, and this preschool summer camp post only got to 400? I don't know. I'm not looking at it right now, but you can kind of go back and see how your engagement was, how many actions they were, and then you can kind of repeat those. What time did you post them? What time are your users on the most, which you can find out in Insights. But that's why I like publishing tools a lot, because it gives you kind of a nice snapshot of your last post. But so then I'll go into schedule posts. Do I have any schedule posts? No, not currently. Well, what's cool about it is you can create them. So I click create up here. Now you can do this on just your regular page, but what's cool about this, when you're trying to bulk schedule things, it's better to just kind of be able to just start knocking it out. So, say I'll go back and do my quote graphic. I'll just schedule it in here. And so say I'm going to do it tomorrow for 12. Awesome. It's scheduled. I can also schedule videos. I can schedule pretty much anything to come up. And so the more that I schedule in here, I'm going to see just kind of a nice, kind of a nice list of what I have scheduled. And then I can also kind of look and say, all right, well, I've got a lot scheduled for May 31st, or I've got a lot scheduled for 1:45. I have too many scheduled in the afternoon. I need to kind of, it's good to do some in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening, try them out. But this is the other thing that I'll use. A lot of times I do these for videos. Some people debate whether videos will look better to the algorithm when they're scheduled internally. No one knows if that's true. A lot of times I will schedule videos in publishing tools. Also, if I have like weird tags, sometimes Hootsuite and Edgar and all of those, they don't tag things correctly. So if I know I'm tagging a bunch of businesses in a cross post, or I'm like tagging my group, something like that, I will use publishing tools because I know it will tag it correctly for me, and I don't want to have to like remember to check, did Hootsuite tag it right? I try to keep that inside of Publishing Tools. But you have all sorts of cool stuff that you can do within Publishing Tools, like set up your products. You can, your video library is really cool. I like the video library. So if you're doing videos, which you should be, if you're not, do them. I like to see, you can pull up all sorts of cool stuff about your videos, what's going on in them. But you can also upload them. You can schedule your lives. So if you're going to live stream, you can schedule them in here. And folks will know, like, I think you have to do them within a week, like 7 days, but folks know when you're going to go live and can actually RSVP to them, which is nice. But that's also something that I use pretty consistently to make sure that things are scheduled, make sure that things are planned out, and I can see them going into my social media campaign. So let's see if there's any questions. Does anybody have any questions? Are there any tools that you guys like to use for your planning of your social media? And what do you think is one thing that would make planning your social media easier? For me, it was sticking with a theme each month. And you could do just a theme each week. You could, do whatever you wanted with it. But for me, that was really helpful because I didn't feel as lost then. I was like trying to come up with all this original stuff every day. When I could if I just had a theme, it all just made sense, right? Like I made a bunch of the similar graphics. I made a bunch of similar, photos. I made a couple of similar videos. I'm live streaming on the same topics. So that kind of helped me come up with content easier and help me post more often. If you do not have the ability to, you're super busy to post much, it is worth considering running Facebook ads. So Parenting Resources, that this page right now is a little slower because we're doing some shifts in focus. So I have ads running right now, kind of cheating. So if you do have an ads budget, that's what's kind of nice about the ads, that you can keep people engaged. You're not losing your viewers. They're not forgetting about you. You can stay top of mind. If you are a little bit slow, hey, you're back to back going to bursts, you're back to back going to see clients, you're really busy. That's awesome. You can run just a couple dollars, coffee, Starbucks, latte budget ads every day and just keep going. So I try to keep these at about 30 minutes for a lunch break. Although most of you guys, it seems there's only a couple people who are at a normal 9 to 5 day job. It looks like most of you guys are out there independent already within the group, which is awesome. But if you are not in the group yet, because I am streaming this over on my page too, come join us over at All Up in Your Birth and Baby Business with Kate Schnetzer. We have a really good time in there. There's daily engagement quotes or daily engagement posts where you can engage, ask questions. Guys, if you have a question, you need feedback, you want to bounce something off of the group, go ahead and make a new post. That's what it's for. That's what this group is for, so we can support each other, whether you are just thinking about becoming a birth and baby pro, or you've been doing this for 5 decades. We can all learn something from each other and get something out of the group together. And and if you need some help with your social media strategy, I do a power hour strategy session. You can book that on my website, birthyourbabybusiness.com. It's basically either I'll help you plan it out, I'll help you find a little bit of vision for it. Basically, you can just bounce stuff off of me for an hour if you want. However you want to do it, we just kind of focus on what you want to do. You can book that on my website anytime, birthyourbabybusiness.com. I usually can get on a call with you within 24 hours, if not sooner. But anyway, I hope this was helpful. If folks have questions, let me know. I will circle back to this. And don't forget to join the group if you're not already in there. And it looks like no questions. Alex, you're welcome. And I'm glad it was helpful. And we'll see you guys next week, or see you guys in the group. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. Have a good one, guys.